Okay. Here, this is a test. I'm a few minutes early because I have somebody checking it out for me. Welcome to live chat. Remember, hope you guys are seeing me. All right, helper. Can you see me and can you hear me? I'm waiting to hear back from my helper if I'm being heard and seen by the world at large. Not hearing anything. It says I'm live. Huh. Is anybody getting me? Here, I'm getting a response now. Okay, good. This is my new camera. Is that looking okay? Can you see me? I don't know why I look so red. Is when I look like this, is that a good shot? Can you hear the guitar? Can you hear the guitar and the voice both? Hey, Flores, how you doing? Okay, so I got a few of you out there, at least 4 of you out there now. 3 on there and 1 here. Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for coming. Last time it turned out pretty good. I think 58 people came, but it was never more than 10 at a time. So if you want to leave, don't feel bad. People come and go at this thing. I decided what I'm going to do to give these things a little more, and thanks Jelly Jam for the help. I decided what I'm going to do to give these things a little bit more of an identity is think of a theme every Friday and talk about it, or maybe have a guest. And one of the big elements of my life has been the Grateful Dead, the band. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. But I'll wait a little bit before more people get here. And I'll play a couple Grateful Dead songs. But now maybe Floor and other people there are I'm doing. How about you? I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's Friday. And I teach, so Friday's weekend for me. I don't know about you, but weekends are Floors. Does anybody have any other questions or anything while we're waiting for some more people to come around? Tell us about yourself, Floor. How'd I get down to 1 viewer so quick? People leaving already? There'll be more here. I'll just fool around till we get a few more. Okay, yeah. I know it says 1, but I know there are more than that there because I've got people there and people here. Okay, sounds good. You're live, good and clear. I think there's a delay. All right. Does anybody have any questions or requests while we're waiting for a few more people to come by? No? All right, well, I'm going to start playing a song. And Floor or anybody else out there, if you have a question, just pop it in there. And let's see how many people show up. Is that another person here? Guys, I'm going to have to leave the text alone because I've got to start looking at this stuff. Okay. Thank you, people who texted me. All right. And let's see. Still 1 viewer. Well, I hope more people come on the way I advertise the thing, but I'm glad to have you here, Flora, and anybody else who's there. Oh, thank you, Flores. I'm going to do a Grateful Dead song now. So if anybody's coming in, this is Franklin's Tower. In another time's forgotten space, your eyes looked from your mother's face. Wildflower seeds in the sand and stone. May the fall winds blow you safely home. Roll away, the dew. Roll away, the dew. Roll away, the dew. Roll away, the dew. Tell you where the four winds dwell. In Franklin's Tower there hangs a bell. It can ring tonight, today. It can ring like fire if you lose your way. God save the child who hangs that bell. May have a good one, ring, baby, you can tell. One watch by night, one watch by day. If you get confused, listen to the music play. Sorry. I'll tell you where the four winds sleep. In Franklin's Tower there hangs a key. May the four winds blow you safely home. Forgot a little. Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew. Roll away, roll away. Now I know I didn't do a verse there because I got a little caught up. So that's from the Grateful Dead album, Wake of the Flood, 74. And it was part of a longer suite called Help on the Way, Slipknot, Franklin's Tower. It's like help, they all tied together. But that was the last part, Franklin's Tower, which was pretty much a Dead staple. And I wasn't going to learn the whole thing. This part was easy. It was 3 chords. And I remembered most of it. The Allman Brothers used to do like an instrumental thing, like similar to this before Blue Sky, and then one year I saw them, they started just going right into Franklin's Tower. It was pretty funny because at that point the bands were switching off auxiliary members, like what's his name, Jimmy Herring. He was Jerry Garcia in the Dead, but he could also be either Dickie Betts or Dwayne Allman over there in the Allman Brothers. The same with Warren Haynes would switch roles. But anyway, that song was written by Jerry Garcia and Robert Hunter, the great writing team. Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, and one of the drummers, Bill Kreutzman, also had a hand in writing that one. So one of the great songs. So yeah, I just want to talk. Let me see. What do we have here? Thank you, Flores. Thank you very much. Now I see we have a few people here. Flores, I'm happy to talk to Flores all night. But if the rest of you want to say anything, jump in. So the Grateful Dead, like many of you know, the most successful touring band of all time. They got together in 65, 66 in San Francisco. And I was just a boy then living in Trenton, New Jersey. But I got into them in high school in Endicott, New York. And I went to high school from 76 to 80. I was lucky, not many people in my area were into the Dead, hardly anybody, but the kid that lived across the street, was a year younger than me, Mike Margarone, Italian kid, which is pretty common for the area. His brothers were in college, so he had the scoop on this music. So thanks to him, really life-changing. I got into the Grateful Dead, which is a big part of my life. The Allman Brothers. Dylan I'd known about, but he really got me into Dylan, Crosby, Stills, Nash, Neil Young. I think I said Frank Zappa, Steely Dan. A lot, thanks to Mike Margarone. And he, that's when I learned the Dead people would tape the shows and started just listening more and more, and I got really into them. And the new album at the time was Terrapin Station. And then got to college. When they came and played in Binghamton and I didn't go, it just seemed beyond me at the time. I'll kick myself for that. But when I got to Syracuse, I remember they played there my sophomore year at the War Memorial. And my friend Rufo was working maintenance there because his mother worked there, so she got him that job. She couldn't do it for me. She did get me a couple really tops Kinks tickets, like front row and third row, 2 years consecutively. So she did help with that. What's Flores saying? Oh, it's great to hear about your teenage years. Thank you. And anybody else who wants to chime in, go ahead. So I'm in Syracuse, New York, and you know, the Dead, I wanted to see them, but believe it or not, concerts were only $7 or $8 or $10 back then. But that was too much money when I was a college kid. You know, I was barely eating or doing anything. So I'd hang around. I went and I hung around the show trying to sneak in. I'm trying to get my friend Rufo to sneak me in. He couldn't, but I did a look in the show. And then they came back the next spring, Dead. But finally, in the fall of '82, I actually got to see them at the Carrier Dome. My first two shows were at the Carrier Dome, '82 and '84. Then 4th of July '86, I drove up to Buffalo and I saw them with Tom Petty and Bob Dylan. It was 4th of July. Dead did 2 long sets with some of my friends. Joe, hey Joe, you out there? And stayed with him. And that was just great. And it was my first Dylan show, and Petty was great. And it was $25. And I remember thinking that was outrageous. Now you couldn't even park for $25. It was Dylan, Dead, and Petty, you know, all like pretty much at their peak. Or well, Dylan's always at his peak or not as a peak. It doesn't really depend when. Anyway, so I went. So in my life, I ended up seeing them, the Grateful Dead, 95 times, all over the place. And I saw members of the band, Jerry Garcia band, 20 sometimes. And you take the other members of the band and all this stuff since Jerry died in '95. I've seen well over another 100. So hundreds of times I've seen this band. But you know, if you know about the Dead, every show's different, and the guitar playing. It was, you know, it's like getting into, either you get it or you don't. I think it helps if you play music because you're focusing on the instruments a little more. But I know a lot of people that love the Dead that don't play anything, and it was a big part of my life. I just when Jerry died, that was horrible. I did a yearbook a lot as a teacher. I did like 20-some yearbooks, 23 yearbooks, and I was taking these kids back from yearbook camp from where was it? From something to Santa Barbara back to Ventura. And they're playing all this live Dead on the radio, and I go, oh, this is really cool. And I go, why are they playing all this live Dead? And they announced Jerry Garcia died, and I almost went off the road. Okay, any more comments? We're still, all right, you know, thought we'd get some more interaction. Flora, you have anything to ask? Anybody else? Anybody here on the text axing anything now? Oh, it says I'm a little fuzzy. Okay, it says I'm okay now. I guess this camera goes in and out. This is a new camera. I got because the last one sucked. Do they all make me look red? And I guess this sounds okay. King, come here. I want to show people what happened to you today. Come here, King. You can't tell now, he's fine. But for a couple days, King had to, he had this pus coming out of his eye. And I was hoping it would go away. It didn't. So I had him all day in the vet. And it went into the other eye. He has conjunctivitis, pink eye, like I used to get when I was a kid. But they gave him some antibiotic cream. I have to put it on 2 times a day for 5 days. But, you know, just that first treatment already helped. He looks a lot better. King, come. Yeah, he won't listen to me. Come. All right, let's see if we have any more questions or comments. Okay, there's more viewers out there. Guys, if you don't become more interactive, there's not a lot I can do. So if you came in late, I was talking about my years with the Grateful Dead. I would hitchhike around to see him. I would sneak around. I'd go everywhere. Finally, around '91, my sister met her husband, Dave. And Dave, you know, he had the ends with the place, and we started getting backstage passes, and that was a whole different thing. And I did that for a long time. And then you get kind of spoiled because you don't want to wait in lines to go to the bathroom. You don't want to wait in lines to get anywhere. You used to just drive it in, show the pass, go in, you know, a different entrance, and, you know, you're cool. And that was a lot of fun. But backstage pass isn't like you're hanging out with the band. It's like there's hundreds of people backstage. It's a big scene. And then within that, there's a smaller backstage where like the band and their close friends hang out. And, you know, they walk through stuff. But it's not like you're sitting there hanging out with Garcia and Lesh and Weir and all that stuff. And Mickey and Billy and whoever the keyboard at the time was. But, you know, my sister and I really got into it. It's just nothing like a Grateful Dead show. If you haven't been there, it's hard to describe because every show is different. We're not sure what they're going to play. You know, all kinds of guest stars, everybody from Branford Marsalis to Dylan to Spencer Davis to, you know, I've seen so many people play with them over the years. Okay, so, well, the next song I was planning on playing, I thought I'd have a little more dialogue. Come on, one of you people, ask me something or say something. I see you're on there. Okay, I will just play them. Or if you people that have been texting, if you want to ask something or request or something, you can do that. This is one of my absolute favorite Dead songs, maybe my favorite, from 1971. It was written by the bass player Phil Lesh, and he sings it in concert. Co-wrote it with lyricist Rob Hunter, the great Rob Hunter. And it's a wonderful song. Then when I find out what it's about, it even like goes deeper. It's called Box of Rain. And originally Phil wanted to call it, it's on the American Beauty album, their greatest album, 1971. Wanted to call it Globe of Rain because the box of rain is earth, it's water. But Robert Hunter had to explain to him that this globe of rain wasn't fitting in a song. And the idea was that Phil's dad was dying at the time, and he didn't know what to say to him, how to help. So he went and talked to Robert Hunter, and they talked over the way he felt and his ideas, and this is the song they came out with, Box of Rain. And so let's hope I don't mess it up. The ending is always a little tough, so I might have the lyrics nearby. Not lyrics. The lyrics I'm fine with this time, but I might have the chords here to go by because it gets really strange at the end. It's different every time. So 1971, Box of Rain. No one wants to hear us say anything before I jump into the next song. Okay, here we go. Song written by Phil Lesh, great bass player, who has a great club up in Marin called Terrapin Crossroads. Went up there for a show. He rubbed my back for no reason. Okay, here we go. Actually, let's do this one on the acoustic. So we put away the SG Jr. for now, and let's get the Martin D18. And King, if you want to come in, we'll look at your iPlus, which isn't there anymore. Sorry, everybody, have to move this. Look out of any window, any morning, any evening, any day. Maybe the sun is shining, birds are winging, no rain is falling from a heavy sky. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? For this is all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Walk into any doorway, feel your way like the day before. Maybe you'll find direction around some corner where it's been waiting to meet you. What do you want me to do for you, to see you through? It's all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Look into splintered eyes, you'll find by you can see through another land. Maybe it's been seen before by other eyes through other days while going home. What do you want me to do, to watch for you while you're sleeping? It's all a dream we dreamed one afternoon long ago. Look into any eye, you'll see value, you can see through another land. Maybe you'll find direction around some corner where it's been waiting to meet you. I think I messed up the lyrics. What do you want me to do, to watch for you, to see you through? A box of rain will ease the pain, and love will see you through. This is the part I have to look at the chords, sorry. Just a box of rain, wind and water. Believe it if you need it. If you don't, just pass it on. sun and shower, wind and rain, in and out the window like a moth before a flame. Jesus Christ. And it's just a box of rain. I don't know who put it there. I'm gonna start that again. I have to look. And it's just a box of rain. Out of rib. One more time. I'm really sorry. This is what happens when you play live. And it's just a box of rain. I don't know who put it there. Believe it if you need it, or leave it if you dare. And it's just a box of rain, or a ribbon for your hair. Such a long, long time to be gone, and a short time to be there. All right, that was a pretty messy attempt at Box of Rain, 1971 by Phil Lesh and Rob Hunter. Let's see if we had any comments in the interim here. And we have Kemi says, sounds great. Thank you, Kemi. Love the cover floors. Okay, we got about 5 people now. I know people come and go. Like I said last time, we had 58, but if you looked at this, there were only like 9 most at a time. So I imagine some people are coming and going. I would love to answer questions. Like again, the theme tonight was Grateful Dead. If we get enough people come through, I'll do it again next week. If not, I won't do it next week. Who's this here? No. Oh, hi, No. Oh, I love this. Thank you. Any questions about me or the Grateful Dead? I could tell more stories because I had a lot of adventures on the Grateful Dead, and I could tell some long ones where some crazy things happened. But I used to love the Grateful Dead shows. You know, when Jerry died, it was so bad. I remember I was playing at my wedding at the time. It was right before I got married, and I just remember thinking like, everything in my life up for the like 10, 15 years leading up to that had been around Grateful Dead. Like if I had to remember when something happened, I'd think about what Dead shows I was seeing at that time. And I remember my marriage. I was thinking I'm getting married near this show and that show, and then suddenly all that disappeared. It was depressing. One of the shows I went to was Anaheim. It was my friend Mark's first show. Donnie. He ended up going a lot of shows. But like he became a Springsteen fan and a Dead fan. Both times when I took him to his first show, the Dead at Anaheim and Springsteen was at the LA Coliseum. He didn't like it. It wasn't until he saw them later that he started getting into them. That was amazing. Thank you, Nafida. His first show was probably like my 12th show. That 86 tour, Dylan with the Dead opening, they did a few songs together, not at my show, but other ones on the tour, so they decided to do a full Dylan and Dead tour in 87, because every summer the Dead would do a big tour with a famous opening band, or this time a co-band. So the tour was only like 8 shows, and Dead would do 2 full sets, like 3.5 hours of playing, and then come out and do another show with Dylan. And I'd seen Dylan quite a few times at that point. My friend Donnie got there, and right away I lost those guys. And we're in Anaheim, and I had a bag, and somehow I got so wrapped up in the moment that I ended up changing into a toga. So I'm wandering around in Anaheim in this deadhead crowd of crazy people for hours. You know, it's like an 8-hour show in this toga, and it's getting darker, and I'm getting in the frenzy of everything, and I'm dancing, I'm singing. Bob Weir had a Madonna shirt because she had played there like the night before. And the show's over, and I can't find my friends anywhere. And I'm in this toga, and I'm in the parking lot looking everywhere for my friends, and it's getting like so far past this show that like there's not many cars, and this helicopter starts following me with this flashlight, and everywhere I run is following me. And I was carrying a staff at some point too. And I remember I'm just want to get a ride. I can't find my friends. This is not the first time this happened. I was stuck in Buffalo once, similar situation. Not in a toga, but I'll tell that story another time. So I go on the highway, and we're in Anaheim. So we're probably about 2.5 hours from, we lived up in Newhall, you know, kind of where Magic Mountain is. And I'm in the road in a toga, and I figured, well, some deadhead's going to pick me up. I'm coming out of a dead show. I'm in a toga, right? You know, I'm not going to meet anybody. No one's going to pick me up that's not a deadhead. You know, deadhead's the name for the people that follow the Grateful Dead around. A lot of people would make their livings at shows, if you didn't know that, by selling just enough T-shirts, some kind of food they made, something in the parking lot scene. There was a big parking lot scene. People would camp out there just to make enough money to go to the next show. And I'm in there. A car pulls up. It's a car full of army guys. I hear him with long hair in my toga, and it's a small car shoved together with like 6 or 7 army guys with the crew cuts and the uniforms all shoved together. And they move over and they let me in the back seat. And there I am with this toga, and I'm like, oh, my head's in the dead scene, and I'm there, and they're all looking at me. I don't know why they picked me up. I don't know why I got in. And then, like, they're driving me home and nobody's talking. We're on the highway and they're not talking. I'm not talking, and I'm in the toga and they're in their army outfits. And then I keep thinking there's someone behind me. I go, well, I'm just being paranoid because these are army guys. There's no one behind me. But I kept thinking, how could there be someone behind me? I'm in the back seat. There's no room. So when I finally said, let me out, it was like an hour later. I get out and I look, and they had gutted out the back seat so they could fit one more person. And there really was somebody behind me, like shoved in that little area behind there. And then I just went like this in the highway. It was in Santa Monica. It couldn't have taken us an hour to get to Santa Monica. Maybe it did. They were going so slow. Anyway, and then I got someone to drive me home, and I got home, and I went in, and Donnie was my roommate, and Tim, they left me at the show, so I opened the closet where he slept, and I started kicking him until he woke up. Anyway, that's one of my many stories on the road with the dead. That show is available. Anybody else have any requests or any comments or any questions about me or the dead or music or, you know? It's just, the cool thing with the Dead is you know what was going to happen. Like, it could be a song they hadn't played in 20 years. It could be a cover you never saw before. You just didn't know who was going to come out on stage. And they hardly ever talk. So when they did say something, it was really cool and monumental and funny. They'd say goodnight or we'll be right back. That's about all they would ever say. Okay, maybe I'll do one of my songs. Anybody have a request? Either somebody come back with a request or anybody want me to do one of my songs they remember from another time? Floor, you should know some of my songs by now. Anybody? What are the text people? How much? Yeah, it's only been about 24 minutes. I'd hate to wrap it up this quickly. It's nice to have... Oh, we're up to 8 people there now. So let's see. Let's get some questions and requests going. If you just got here, you can go back and see I did a few Grateful Dead songs. I was talking about... My first Grateful Dead show was at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Liz, I don't know if you're watching. You said you might watch. Liz, I remember seeing you there. You were just a little girl. You were 18, and I was like 20. And it was the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. And I went with my girlfriend Melissa, but also these other guys from out of town came in. It was my first Dead show, even though I'd been into them for years. And Liz, if you're watching, do you remember? I ran into you in the hallway because your friend was puking in the bathroom, and you just didn't know what to do with her. And I remember us standing in the hallway. That was 1981 or 82, September, my first Dead show. That was on a Friday. I get up the next day, and I hitchhike up to Buffalo, because I had tickets to see The Who and The Clash on Sunday. And I picked up with these frat guys that we ended up going the wrong way. We ended up in Canada in this strip bar where everybody's throwing nickels at this woman, Fifi, and a fight breaks out. And we get out of there, and they're sleeping in scaffoldings. And I'm trying to get out of Toronto, and I had no money left. And I jump on the back of this trolley just so I can get to the border and get out of town. And I get picked up by this guy who's so drunk he can't stay on the road, so I get off with him, and I get picked up by these 3 guys that are all taking these psychedelic pills, so they get me past the border, and then I get out with them. Like, everybody was scary I got rides with. Then I run to my friend Frank right away, give him the last of my cash to secure a ride. I go, Frank, because I saw him there, and then of course I lost him, and I had to hitchhike home. I remember banging out windows. And finally, finding a guy that was going to Syracuse. He was selling bootleg illegal T-shirts, and he drove me to Syracuse. That was quite a weekend. Do you have a favorite song that they covered, that the Grateful Dead? Oh, Yash. Probably my favorite Grateful Dead song that they cover is Morning Dew. Hey, Yash. Yeah, Yash is one of my students there. Yash will be going to study film next year in San Francisco, won't you, Yash? Okay. Let me see. It's simple, but do I have the chords ready? This is by Barbara Dobson. This is a great song. The Grateful Dead made it their own, but also Jeff Beck band when they had Ron Wood and Rod Stewart as in the band. They did it. Several other people. It's about the aftermath of a nuclear war. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll do it on the electric. I'll do it on the. So this song was written probably in the 50s. But the Dead did it in the 60s. Okay. And again, so when you're listening to it, just think of this as the aftermath of a nuclear war. We're not going to do the 16-minute Grateful Dead version. Hi, May. How are you doing? Good to see you. Wait, which May is this? Is this May that graduated a couple years ago or a recent, the other May? Let me know. Okay, good to see you. So I have a couple students there, a couple other people. So this is Morning Dew by the Grateful Dead. 1967 is when they did it. It goes back. Okay. Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Walk me out in the morning dew today. I can't walk you out in the morning dew, my honey. I can't walk you out in the morning dew today. I thought I heard a baby cry this morning. I thought I heard a baby cry today. You didn't hear no baby cry this morning. You didn't hear no baby cry today. Where have all the people gone this morning? Where have all the people gone today? There's no reason for you to be worried about all those people. You never knew all those people anyway. Walk me out in the morning dew, my honey. Walk me out in the morning dew today. guess it doesn't matter anyway. Well, that's, believe it or not, that is a very short version of Morning Dew as far as they go. Oh, we have some more. Oh, it's Miriam. Oh, hi. Oh, it's Miriam. Okay, I thought it was May and also, okay, Miriam, good to see you. And there's Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Oh, thank you, Nafita. I'm glad it sounds good. Okay, so that was oh, my battery is awful low. That's okay. Hang on. I have a plug right here. Just hang on a second. Oh, I'm glad so many people ended up showing up here. Oh, it looks like I'm getting some, what do you call it? Lag there. All right, so any questions? I'd like to talk a little, answer. I told some stories about the Grateful Dead. And does anybody have any other questions about that or any song requests or anything? Let me see what we have here. Sounds great. Yeah, you love it. Glad you loved it. So 95 Grateful Dead shows, about 25 Jerry Garcia band shows, about 150 Bob Weir, Phil Lesh, Mickey Hart shows. Big part of my life, the Grateful Dead. The music is so free. Definitely my favorite band. Just the band closest to me. You know, I love the Who too, but you know, the Dead just take me places. Are they the greatest band? When I think of the greatest band of all time, you know, it's hard to listen to the 69 to 71 Allman Brothers, like the film, and think, well, that's the greatest. Or if you listen to Miles Davis' first great quintet, the second wave of his first wave quintet, when he had John Coltrane and what's his name on drums, Cobb. Yeah, that's a great band. But the Dead are up there. They're one of the top 3 or 4. The band is another great live band. But big thing for me. So I'm thinking next week. Okay, how did you learn how to play their song? Which song? That one just now? You know, I know the song so well. I just have to kind of look at the chords and it makes sense. And I really don't have to take that long to look at it. For most, some of them are complex. Some of them I think are complex, or any song. But when I look at it, they're easy. A lot of the requests I get from you guys, like not you guys, but younger people these days, they're very simple songs to learn. Let me see. Let me think what else we have going on here. Yeah, so I'm thinking next week my theme could be, you know, another big part of my life is I'm a big James Bond fan, have been since I was like a baby. That's like 2.5. And I'm thinking of, and I've told you I'm a moderator for the #1 James Bond site in the world, MI6 community. So next week I think I'm going to talk about Bond stuff. Yeah, it's funny how I'm getting blurry and then unblurry and blurry and unblurry. Why is that happening? Maybe I am. Is everybody else saying that? Am I getting blurry to you? What is happening? It might mean it's time to go. I don't know what that means. It could be my battery's that dead. All right, everybody. I don't know why. Yes, I love that song, She's a Lady. Maybe I'll play that next time for you, Mariam. Okay? All right, everybody. I'm going to go because for some reason my camera is... my picture is getting really blurry and I don't know why, and I've even plugged it in, so I don't know why that's happening. So we went 38 minutes. That's pretty good. 39. Thanks for coming, everybody. I wonder